we're going to do number 4. Hidden reasons. Hidden reasons. Besides these 3 causes, what we done went over, for human suffering, it often happens that people suffer for no apparent reason or fault of their own, their parents, or their nation. Because people, you born in a situation, you can imagine the children that were born into slavery. They like, hey, what this is, man? Why me? Well, I do master say, why am I being treated like this? They don't even know. They don't have anything. But son, I was born into this myself. I don't know why we get treated, like this and stuff. So that's why we talking about these hidden reasons and stuff. A lot of people don't understand. Even today, a lot of them don't understand, why we go through some of the stuff that we go through. But like I said, it's always a beginning point. It says, in these cases, there are hidden reasons operating behind the scenes for suffering. For suffering may be permitted by Yahuwah for a special purpose. There is a short list of some lesser known special purposes for human suffering. See, nobody don't want to suffer, and nobody don't want to believe that Yahuwah would allow these things that they say, or even must do these things as punishment. It says, to glorify the Most High, Yahuwah, or to vindicate his name before the entire heavenly host, the sufferer bearing in his own body living testimony to the fact that Yahuwah's word is true and Satan's false. Read the book of Job, where this fact is fully demonstrated. LL, who they call Satan, claimed that Job served Yahuwah purely for personal gain and not because he admired his way of life. So, that was a challenge between them two. They playing chess, not checkers. Yahuwah on one side of the board, LL Satan on the other side of the board and stuff. And that was the challenge right there. So that's why it's saying hidden reasons. In other words, it wasn't nothing that Job did. So now we don't deal with personal sin, parental sin, national sin. Now we're going to hidden reasons why you could be going through something and there wasn't no cause for no reason. But because of this right here, like when we talking about Job and stuff and how it was a challenge put there. But he don't know he's just that chess piece that's on the board and don't know what's going on and stuff. So and that's what it's talking about. And it says Satan claimed that Job was serving Yahuwah purely for his personal gain and stuff, which some people do. But that wasn't the case with Job. People just serve Yahuwah just to see what they can get out of him and this and that. So Satan insisted that if Yahuwah's blessing were removed from Job, would soon give up his faith in obedience. So we see that's when the challenge began and stuff. So that'd be another thing. Some people might be crying out, "Oh, what I did? Why I'm going through this and this and that?" Especially if you trusting in serving Yahuwah and stuff. So he said, so to that degree, it says Yahuwah disagreed. Because Yahuwah he know all of us. He know where we at. And he said Yahuwah disagreed and gave Satan permission to test him, which we see. And it says Job stood the test, a test of unspeakable suffering. And he did, very unspeakable suffering. So when we read the story of Job, all that what Job went through, all happened in one day. See, people thought it happened over time, different. Oh, that all happened in one day. So when you read it, he say as the one person that survived that incident was telling him, another one came right behind him and was telling him. So all that happened in one day. That's enough to call the person want to commit suicide. To give up on life and stuff in general. And it says, say Satan claimed, okay, Satan insisted, okay, there we go. Now Yahuwah disagreed and gave Satan permission to test Job. Job stood the test, a test of unspeakable suffering. He proved that Yahuwah's assessment of him was correct, that Job wasn't being bribed to be good, but was obedient because he loved his maker. genuine love. And we see that through all the suffering that he went through. It got to the point that his wife was fed up. It got her all messed up and stuff, not realizing that when you're being tested, if the test might be specifically your test, but it also a test of those that's around you, with people that don't even know it'll affect them. So in other words, you might be going through a trial. Everybody don't know about your trial, but it might be a specific group of people. Say we here and I'm going through something. We all know that I'm going through something. But guess what? It's my test, but it's also yours. But at a different level, at a different stage of that test, to see, how you're going to be, what your contribution going to be to that. So her contribution wasn't to support her husband. She got to the point that she was so frustrated, she told him to curse the Most High and die. So she failed her part, but her part was to just continue to be that supportive wife, to be that helpmate and stuff. So these are things that I say you have those that the test is directly to, but those also that's around that know about what that person going to also being tested as well. So he says, you see that Job passed it. He says he proved to Yahuwah that it wasn't it wasn't about the bride. So it says another example of how suffering was allowed for a special reason is found in the story of the man born blind. And they call John 9th chapter stuff. Later on he got his sight and stuff. His test. He believed, he trusted, not knowing why he was that way and this and that. So in other words, you can come into a situation without no cause of your parents or the government or whatever. It's just a situation that you just born into, no matter what it may be. Then to see how you was going to, go about in that, whatever it was that you was brought into in your life to go through and stuff. So it says in the Apostle Paul, suffering are also evidence of divine reason operating behind the scene. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. While y'all looking for that, do anybody ever knew what that thorn in the side was? With Paul? Remember he asked Yahuwah to remove it. He said, "My grace is sufficient." Yeah, I say, do you know what it was? What was that thorn in the side? Yeah, it was his blindness. Remember when Yahuwah blind? He blind Paul. Yeah, that was his thorn in his side. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You had to do a little more research. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, 7 through 9. What you mean? Oh, say it again.
The question: people born in slavery, like the kids, they're born deep in slavery, pain and suffering. Do they get a chance to go to the paradise of Sheol, or they still get a chance to go to the bad part of Sheol, go hell?
Come on, really, that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody still have that chance. Once you're born,
Yeah.
say you come into something, no matter what you were born into and stuff. That's a new beginning because you just been born. So no matter if you were born into slavery or prison or whatever, That's a beginning for you, no matter what that situation is. And so you have that choice of which direction you will go, whether no matter what it may be. Basically, what I'm trying to say, the ones that are that don't pass on. No, you're talking about the ones who born. You're born into it. You're born into slavery. You don't know what happened with them. So what happened with them is it's going to depend on them. It's not going to depend on what your parents did. It's going to depend on you. But you still, just like us being born when we were born. Whatever situation our parents was in, it still was going to come up with what decision we made as we got older. So that's the same way. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's born have the opportunity to do right, or do wrong. So I mean, they're still going through what they're going. It's just like what we were just talking about with Job and stuff. A situation that comes that you have no control over, but it's up to you to try to make the best out of that situation. So with that situation, once they find out, who he is, it's that now it's their choice. If they're going to be angry and upset and have resentment because they're born into that, or they're going to, try to be obedient and do right accordingly to be pleasing unto him. And even in the midst of that, find favor. Just like it did when Joseph brothers them, threw him in the pit, sold him into slavery, then he went into Egypt, became a prisoner, next thing you know, what? He became governor. Second in, so those kind of things, you see these kind of steps, and you end up in a bad situation, but because you still trusting and believing in the Most High Yahuwah and not having no resentment, you can move on forward. But if one of the people that's gonna have resentment, always blaming him for your issue, then you're gonna stay in that kind of condition. It's just like say a lot of things that goes on with here in Ghana. And people born in a certain situation. You got those that born with something, those that not born with nothing. So those that see them with something, they want it. Instead of them taking the time to learn how to get it, they do what? They scam, they steal, they rob, because they want that other person, have, or they want to be like that and stuff. So they had a choice to do it the right way or the wrong way. That's anywhere in the world, when people want something. So that's why the scripture even say that the love of money, nothing wrong with money, but it's when you start to love it. So when you start to love it, you'll do anything to get it. Oh,
I'm just gonna add to that. It's like the 400-year curse, and that was the sentence that they was gonna get. So regardless of what had happened, you got to go through that 400-year curse. That's like crimes now. You do something that takes 3 seconds to do a murder, you still get 30 years, possibly to life. And just because you sorry by year one, you still got 29 more years to go. It don't matter. It's still up to you to become a better person. Repent, rehabilitate, be a better person. So in that 400 years, like you said, they born into it. They don't know why they there, but you still got to do the best that you can. And, praise the Most High the best way they could. They got stripped from them, but you still can be good amongst your fellow servants that you would, instead of being evil. You still had the choice.
Oh, you read it? Huh? Oh, you didn't? Oh, wait.
Second Corinthians chapter 12, starting at verse 7. Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations I have received, There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the angel of Satan to buffet me, lest I should exalt myself. For this thing I sought Yahweh 3 times, that it might depart from me. And he said to me, my unmerited favor is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness. With great rejoice, therefore will I rather boast in my weaknesses, so that the power of Mashiach may rest on me.
So you see here, like I was saying, just certain situations, you know, and it don't have to be a cause because you did anything, but it's just like you say. And this right here was to give Yahuwah that Yahuwah would get esteem because he say when Shaul asked 3 times, for him to take that away from him, and he said, "My grace is sufficient." But he also but Paul, if you see in the beginning, he said in that 7th verse, he says what? And to keep me from what? Exalting myself. So in other words, you will put him in a situation where it kept him like balanced, where he wouldn't get, boastful or exalt himself, like he said, to a point. So he allowed this certain thing that way it would be there. That thorn in the side will always be there. That way Yahuwah will always get praise, and to keep him where he wouldn't, get beside his own self and stuff. So Paul was he was very wise, smart, intelligent. He wasn't nowhere near Solomon, but he was very intelligent of his day and time and stuff. He was taught at the top school and everything and stuff. So he was someone that was well looked upon and stuff at at a status that was much higher than professors and stuff. That's how well educated he was and this and that and everything. So with all this, Yahuwah had to keep him at at a certain level. And that's why Shaul. That's why he was telling us today. It was to keep him from exalting himself. And that's why Yahuwah told him to say, "Hey, my grace is sufficient." He says what? I should, and then he says in the 9th verse, and he said to me, "My favor is sufficient for you, for my power is perfect in weakness." So at our weakest moment, you will say that's his power. Our weakest moment will show the power of him, of the most high stuff. And that's why you see, and that's why he said, I shall rather boast in my weakness, so that the power of the Messiah rests on me. So he started to understand, at that time and stuff, and that's why he was letting people know that, Yahuwah will shine in your weakness and stuff. That's when it shows you that the power and that he would get that esteem and stuff. So that's what Shaul, he accepted it. He accepted where Yahuwah put him at in that condition. That way, that's why he said what he said, that I shall rather boast in my weakness, so that the power of the Messiah rests on me. So that power of the Most High will rest on you in your time of weakness. I can say for myself throughout my walk and living this life and stuff, I had many of breaking points and stuff. But yet, in those weakened points, that's when the Ruach will always what gave me the strength. The Ruach will always bring back my remembrance of everything that Job went through. That was always my pick me up, my power pill right there. That scripture of everything what Job went through at those points when I was just down and I just like ready to give up in certain situations and stuff. But that always gave me back, and that was that power right there of Yahuwah in my time of weakness, using Job as that boost, how he overcame and endured these different things. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. No matter what, yeah. Hmm. And what happened at the end of all that he went through? Yeah, yeah. He withstood it. He withstood the test. That's why the scripture must say, what the scripture say? The race is not given to who or what. So what they tell you, you don't even have to be in strong, but to he that in who, see, you don't even have to be strong. You just got. But guess what? It don't matter if you come in last place as long as you cross that finish line. You ain't doing it. So that's how it is with this walking stuff. Because he even say the first to be last and last to be first. But guess what? They still making it in and stuff. They still coming across that finish line. That's what it's all about. Endurance. Endurance. Not giving up. So you never seen people give up in a race or in competition. No matter what place they came in, they all come across that finish line. They all play until the clock run out and stuff. And that's what it's all about. The Acts 5:41. 5th chapter, verse 41. Verse 41. But I'm gonna start at verse 36. Says, for before these days rose up, claiming to be somebody, a number of men, about 400, did join him. He was slain, and all who obeyed him was dispersed and came to naught. After him, Yehuda of Galilee rose up in the days of the census and drew away many people after him. He also perished, and all who obeyed him were scattered. And now I say to you, stay away from these men and leave them alone, because if this plan or this work is of men, it shall be overthrown. But if it is of Elohim, you are unable to overthrow it, lest you even be found to fight against Elohim. See, and that's another thing, people. Sometimes you gotta just let things be what things gonna be, because sometimes you don't know if it's of Yahuwah or if it's of the men. That's why you need to pray about certain situations, to see if it's of Yahuwah or if it's of the enemy and stuff, or if it's of man that's doing it, because you don't want to end up be trying to do something that you going up against Yahuwah without realizing. You asking you praying about a certain situation, you trying to pray against it all the time. It can be Yahuwah, so you want to make sure asking Yahuwah, is this of you or is this of man? So then that way you know the direction to go. Because if it's a man, you can pray against it. If you know if it's of Yahuwah, you just have to back off and let it be, let it flow, ride the wave out. And that's what a lot of people need to find out before they always so quick to pray against this and to pray against that, but you don't know. That could be Yahuwah doing it, allowing that to happen. Everything ain't the devil. Everybody put, oh, the devil did this, oh, he's doing this, oh, the devil, giving the devil too much credit. You giving the devil credit that's just going through Yahuwah. Because Yahuwah allows certain stuff to happen. Or he making it happen and stuff for a certain reason. So you got to make sure and stop giving, Yahuwah credit to the devil all the time. So he said, 39th verse. But if it is of Elohim, you are unable to overthrow it, lest you even be found to fight against Elohim. So, and they heeded his advice. They listened. And having called for the emissaries, what they call disciples, beating them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua, and let them go. Then indeed they went rejoicing from the presence of the council, because they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name's sake. You see that they said it was counted worthy to suffer for his name's sake. So that's a high standard. You know, people say, "Hey, you get out of that. You suffering for somebody else. Or you suffering for." He said it was kind of it was worthy. You know, it was kind of worthy to suffer for his name. Why? Because of who you represent and stuff. Hey, I'm going through this because I love him. I appreciate him. I adore him. What he's doing for me. So you know, and they say, It's Yahuwah. It's Yahushua." So we see that it's a worthy call to be able to do that. How many other people you say it's a word, you know, take a beating or suffer or shame for somebody else and stuff? You know, real quick to say, "Man, you crazy. I ain't gonna be doing that for you. You ain't finna make me look like a fool." So, but to go through that for Yahusha, they said it was a worthy call. So these are some of the things that are worth going. You know, and some people be wondering, you know, what's it worth it? What's it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. Pretty much worth it. You see that they was happy about it. Anyone else? Okay, let's go to Matthew 24 chapter, the 9th verse. Let's start at verse 1 and read down to verse 9. Ninth verse, key verse.
And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his Talmudim came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, Talmudim came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign of your coming and the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Shabbat, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Maybe at, and he was talking about the war that's going on. He just talked about that. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Don't get all caught up in it. That's gonna happen, that's what's supposed to happen.
Stay focused.
Stay focused.
Right now, everything that's smoking is mirrors. Mhm. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. Yeah, and then it's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh, people. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was all about staying focused.
Everything's going to be sometimes. You gotta stay focused. If you don't stay focused, you'll be caught up in. They watch that this one too.
And so you see, within human suffering, there's always a distraction too. Now you're suffering. You want to get out of that suffering. You want to be healed. You want to be delivered. But something always getting in your way or something always happening to distract you because you know what you need to do, but something distracts you from doing what you're doing. It's like, say somebody, they're on medication. They supposed to take their pill at a certain time of the day, but they, get distracted because of something. Next thing you know, they don't went a whole nother day done came in. They didn't take their medicine they supposed to took the day before and stuff. And so as it is with us, with our daily routine of living a righteous life, trying to get out of the human suffering, what we need to do and stuff. And so all these little things come up, different events, different somebody coming past through your path, and distracting you, to get your mind off of what you trying to get right and stuff, not knowing what you going through, but they done been sent by the enemy to distract you and stuff. And so these are the things that we definitely have to, pay attention to and watch, in order to get out of the human suffering. Because some people take like to comfort their human suffering. In other words, when people have pain and they're going through something, some turn to drugs, alcohol, anything to soothe that pain. But the issue is still there. Even after that, they feel good for that moment. When they wear off, they realize that, oh man, I'm still in the same situation. So it's just one of those little painkillers that they use to overcome or go, get out of the situation where they're in, but yet they still have to go back to dealing with what they've been suffering with and everything. So we see through here, we don't see from single sin, parental sin, to national sin, and to even hidden things that they don't have nothing to do with either or, but you will allow that you go through these things, whether it be a test or a trial or whatever it is. But the key thing is, no matter what it is, no matter what comes our way, our main thing is to stay focused on Him. Our main thing is not to let it take us out of our character, to drift us away, to separate us from Him. That's why they even said in the word, what would you let separate you from the love of Yahuwah and stuff? And don't think that He don't love you just because you're going through something. And that's the problem with people thinking that they're not getting the love of the Most High because they're going through a situation. And that's why they always ask, why He let this? Why He let this happen? Why He let this happen? Why He let this happen to children and to babies and this and that? See, that right there already, you see where they're heading to. They're already being separated. Mind already being focused and turned opposite way because of what they're going through. Because they don't want to suffer. They don't want to have to go through these different pains. I mean, none of us do, but we have to just deal with it with the best that we can, with the best of our ability, and make the best out of the situation and stuff. It's like it's like this. I remember when my wife when we were staying in our condo in the States and stuff, and she would say, "Man, we ain't got nothing in here to eat. Look at here, ain't nothing in the refrigerator." I said, "Oh, we got plenty of food in here." I say, "It's just what you want is not in here, but we got plenty of food in here and stuff." And that's when she started, her frame of thinking and watch start to change and stuff. That hey, there's a lot of stuff we can make out of here. Can you make a sandwich without sandwich meat? There you go. Can you have a meal without rice or without beans? you're gonna have one other one. So yeah, that was one of the situations that I had to let her see and stuff, because she was so used to, oh, we ain't got this. And I said, the fridge don't have to be full in order for you to eat. There's something in there and stuff. And so these are the things that we have to be, careful of being distracted and stuff when we do have something right there to anchor us down, help us through.
Kids said,
Uh-huh. Yeah, bag full of something, but nothing. Uh-huh.
That's, that's religion also bring suffering to humans.
Say that again?
Religion.
Uh-huh.
That's religion also brings suffering to humans.
Religion definitely brings something to people and stuff because it's something that's organized, it's something that put together and stuff. There's nothing that's in the script and stuff. Just even the word itself, when you break the word down, you split it and stuff, what you got? Uh-huh. Read, uh-huh. And what's the other? Bingo. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, there you go right there. So that's why I said it's a lot of word play. And like I say, the words have power. And we just have to be listening and thinking about, hey, these words they put in here. One word can make a whole sentence look different and stuff. It can say this, and then you take this word out and replace it with another word, it becomes something whole completely different. So these are the things that we definitely have to watch out on, and why human suffering come about and stuff. But a lot of the suffering, majority of all the suffering, is from humans themselves. Not nobody else, humans themselves, because of the action that they do that cause a reaction and stuff that they can't either they can't figure it out or they don't want to figure it out. Nobody don't want to take the responsibility. Nobody don't want to be blamed for doing something wrong and stuff. But once we can admit our own wrong, that's why I say examine yourself, search within yourself. Once you can do that, that's the beginning. And once you accept yourself and what's going on within yourself, that's the beginning of healing. Because before you get to the doctor, you examine yourself because he gonna ask you what's wrong. I don't know, doctor, check me out. He ain't gonna know neither because it's your body. So so that's why he tell you to examine yourself, just like the word tell you, examine yourself, search within yourself and stuff. And when you find that issue within yourself, then that's the beginning of the healing process. And then once that healing begins, human suffering will start to go away. But to get away from human suffering, we have to do that. We have to revert from sin. Human suffering will stop when man stops sinning. When man stops being disobedient, put it like that. When man stops being disobedient.
when you mentioned does religion bring suffering, the first thing that came to my mind was the Catholic Church and how they tortured people, made them convert, made them do idol worship, changed the Sabbath day. So that's what brought to my mind is a clear example of how religion can bring suffering to humans, made them not worship the commandments. So think of that. You can definitely look at the Catholic Church and see that it's a clear example in what they did, torturous things to people.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Uh-huh. Yeah, Islam did the same thing. Forced the people to conversion. Those that didn't convert, they killed them. Some they castrated and stuff. So,
Yes, yesterday I go through into a discussion. It comes to my mind about religion because some people believe basically based on the Torah. They don't believe the new covenant. Others also, all their belief is on the new covenant because they believe that Yeshua has come to fulfill the Old Testament because he has come and fulfilled all what the prophets say about him. So now it's like at model. And recently, one of my guys made admission to one of Methodist school, Methodist University at Soma. And because of their religion, they are Muslim. his father insisting me to attend that school because it's a Christianity school. He's still at home. Yeah, so now I think one of the major things nowadays is worrying about suffering we are going through, all that is new. I can say 80% is a religion because your religion can say, hey, our belief is different from what our religion believes, so you don't need to cooperate with them. Even in churches, nowadays in church, we call ourselves Christianity, but we have our own rules governing the church. So maybe the Baptists will tell the Catholics, hey, even though we are all Christians, but our belief is far different from you, so that can't, we can't cooperate and all that. And that brings a lot of suffering in society. Because recently there's a Baptist church, a lady is about to get married to a Catholic parent refused because of their belief. And this is very serious. Very serious. Of course, that bring disunity between family relations and individuals.
Piece of candy. No, what I was saying, basically piggybacking off of what you were saying, because religion is probably the basis of so many wars that have been fought since the beginning of time. It always seems to boil down to my God is bigger than your God. My God could beat your God up. One of those things. And people will fight to the death just on their belief and drag hundreds of thousands of people in with them. So I think religion has been an excuse for so much pain and suffering. It's basically, and most of it is self-inflicted. If you're in that group, whether you're Islam, Christian, Seventh Day, whatever, there's mechanisms within those groups and those religions that cause, I believe, so.
I think religion steals people's freedom. It steals people's freedom, right? Following laws and rules that God didn't institute, that some man decided we're going to do things this way and not do things that way, right? Steals people's freedom, steals people's joy, and leads to death ultimately.
I just wanted to add that when you look at how Elohim dealt with his people, he never instituted religion. People always ask us, well, what religion are you? What are you? I'm not part of religion. Part of the kingdom. It's part of like a personal relationship that he had with us. I'm not Christian, I'm not any of those things. I'm whatever Adam was, or whatever Moses was. Because these terms, Christianity and Judaism, all those things, they didn't come till later. So whatever Adam was, whatever Moses was, they had a personal relationship with the Most High, and there was no religion, quote unquote. It was just that personal relationship with him.
I was just gonna say, you don't see nothing about religion. You don't see Baptist in the word. You don't see, how they say, yeah, Methodist. You don't see none of that. None of that. So, thank you. You don't see none of that. But you know, I was told, um, this pastor, mom wanted me to come with her for family and friend day. He told me, oh, the pastor, we were talking about, oh, we don't have, you know, you don't accept, what he says to say here, this is not, you're not gonna, you know, you're not, saved and this and that. Okay. Then he said, I'm gonna step on some toes. He said, all you that, all of you experience, all of you that, all y'all going to hell is going to the Church of Christ. And I said, the man is telling a lie. If he gonna get himself right, he going to hell. And he gonna take all y'all with him. Boy, it was a problem. My cousins wanted to fight because I said, they said, uh, yeah, they said, you telling the truth. I said, no, he's not. He's not telling the truth. I said, if he don't get himself together and get it right, he gonna go and take all y'all with
Because the easiest thing to do to dismiss all that stuff is go to the word and say something that's real simple. House divided cannot stand. So if you got, like she say, Episcopalian, Apostolic, Lutheran, you can go down the whole list. That's nothing more than what's in the streets right now. Bloods and Clips and Disciples and Vice. That's just spiritual gang banging. That's basically what it is. Get all these sects and gangs because you're like, this person did something, so I'm gonna go start my own thing. I don't like what they doing, so I'm gonna start my own thing. I'm gonna take bits and pieces and start up some old crazy club, like the Little Rascals or something. That's not what it's supposed to be. Never was a club, it was a culture. It was this is what we do. It was rules. It said my yoke is easy, my burden is light.
Yes.
You go to church, they make it hard. They make you afraid to come to church if you don't got money because they're gonna ask these sides. If I don't got on the right thing this Sunday, if I don't got, they make it a burden themselves. So that's the best way to dismiss all that stuff is go to that book.
And I'm sorry, I think what really made me shout out, like I said, like I did in it, because he said, we was happy. We was all one of them.
Back on the religion, like in the United States, Caribbean, anywhere, all the bad neighborhoods got churches at every corner. And look at the neighborhood still in turmoil. Yes, it's still looking bad. Same thing here in Ghana and in African countries. There's churches everywhere, but everybody's still in poverty. Why? Because nobody's not following the laws, statute, commandments. They don't teach us that. They don't want us to know this, so they want us to break the Sabbath. They put the Sabbath on Sunday, so we can party Friday night, get drunk Saturday night, walk in the church tipsy, and everything, and praising and singing. Then we leave church, we'll do the same thing we were doing Monday, Thursday, Friday, sinning. That's why I say it's by design to keep us down. So that's they teach us the law, statute, commandments. We be a great nation. You know what I'm saying? But everything's by design. So
It's not there. Yeah.
I think couple of points. The face to right times, my police used to call me, hey Lawrence, the festival is this Saturday, we are going out tonight. And I say, hey, you already know my laws already. I don't go out on Friday night and Saturdays. And they started talking, they give me this boy, what's wrong with you? What's up? Hey, what's the meaning of all this? Can I go to church on Saturdays? And I was telling them, yeah, because of how our pastors are deceiving us by always false doctrines they are imparting in us. We have believed those nonsense. So it means like instead of us to go back and read what the scripture exactly tell us, we don't do that. But we rather these our pastors, fake doctrines, and other teachings that lead us into suffering and cause of sins anytime. And nowadays, when any of them call me, they try to question me with the scriptures. Hey, what did you learn? You said now you attend the service Saturday, so what did you learn today? When I come out, I say, hey, what are you saying? I've never found this in the scripture before. Blah blah blah. I say, yeah, you need to read by yourself.
And you became a light to them. Like you told them right there, no matter what you tell them, you told them you know what you do yourself. And that's the downfall of our people. And the issue with people today is that nobody, the majority of them, is not reading for themselves. That's why they always say, I got to say this, I got to say that. They never actually in the word of the Most High. They can't get it. You know, they're not even much encouraged to go read for themselves.
Right. And the one thing is, most of them tell me, hey, no, it's when I really don't understand myself, so let my pastor explain to me. So when you have this and that, and the one we have God done, like, oh, you can, the government will give you all the details, the information, and further explanation. So you will get explanation of yourself. No, say like, long days, long business, waste of time. So it's up to you. It's up to you.
Being lazy, that's why the first say, they spoke first. They say they don't understand, but they can take the time to understand. That's why I say, you feel with their ruach, you'll get the understanding that comes to you, especially when you with the right people to show you and teach you and along. That's their way of getting out of it. Like I said, or their way of get it. That's being so. Yeah, but we stay like that. We'll still be in first day right now. They're going through the motion, this and that, not studying. Okay, when they said, okay, I got you, and ride it out. So that's easy to do that. You know, it's easy to sit there and let somebody feed you. No matter when they feed you, it tastes good. Because they, what they say, the word say, you know, they got itching ears. They like when they fancy to be tickled and say, oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, he did it. Well, after he showed preached today, and can't give you no answer. What he preached about? I don't know, but it sounds good.
When you guys are hey, bro, really late today. Yeah, I don't know. They don't have a good test and they
Don't have
don't
nothing. See, there you go. They just go in there empty handed. Gun, shoot blanks. Go ahead.
And we actually just read it. He says, take heed that no what man deceiving you. We have to still remember that it's the tares and the wheats. We're all together right now. We're all like, well, we're called and set apart by the Ruach. But just like the Most High has his ministers, Shaitan has his ministers out there too. Let no man deceive you. So even though they're in the pulpit and they're preaching and they're doing all those things, and then you see it's indoctrination. They all sound alike. They start screaming. It gets to a certain point in the service, they start playing the music. To get you all riled up. Yeah. And they play on your emotions, but again, like you said, you leave empty. You have to go home and fight those same demons and fight those same things, but you don't have the word on you, you don't have your armor on to fight. So it goes back to that. Take heed that no man deceive you. Yeah.
And I like what she was saying about it. Just brought back to my remember the scripture when it said when they told him, he told him to incline in the old pathway. When you find it, walk the end. They say no, we ain't gonna do it. Preacher, tell us lies. Prophesy. They asked them. They told him prophesy lies to us. They wanted lies. They ain't want the truth or something. You know that's great. That's scary. When somebody telling you, oh, tell me a lie. You know, I'm like what? You know, and it's crazy. You reading this in the word when they said prophesied lies. Tell us lies. Smooth things, yeah. So that's what they got. That's what they get right now today. Those smooth things, like you were saying, he go to playing the music, he go to hopping and screaming and slob coming out of his mouth, and everybody dancing and stuff. Nobody be wiping their mouth and stuff, but they gonna slob all on themselves, trying to get a word and stuff. And they all next thing, everybody in the group is dancing, people running up and down the aisle, shoes coming off, and they jump around, falling out, hoping somebody catch them and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And they sort of go, the pastor, everybody's getting off night, the pastor takes a pillow.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
It's the craziness that goes on, y'all, in these churches today. All right, love y'all. Shalom, shalom.